We should be able to recognize him in future. Look at his left ear. Obviously from a fight at some stage, I would guess another Nyala bull's horn must have ripped into that ear and left that bit of a flap from it. Beautiful male though, very good condition. And he's in good condition because he eats a lot. I go a little bit forward. There's another antelope I'd love to show you, but they're always so skittish. Alex, as soon as we go a bit forward, you see straight ahead on the other side. Let's see, we might get him from here. Oh, it's moving away. Just see the movement there. Let's try again. This is a common duiker or a grey duiker. Typically they are very skittish. They're solitary antelope. Normally hard to see them, especially mentioned a few times the last couple of days. Bush is so thick at the moment, but this one is eating marulas, which is why it's maybe going to stick around for us. Oi! Or maybe not. Everything is eating marulas at the moment. Two hornbills. That's a young bird, the one on the left hand side, or the one sort of down a bit. And there's the adult. Obviously just busy teaching the youngster what you can and what you can't eat. And also going to teach it how to have a dust bath. Perfect place for dust bathing. It's a little bit of a slope there, so quite often when we drive up here with the four-wheel drive, you tend to sort of spin a little bit going up it, so it leaves nice powdery dust, and it's also facing at an angle towards the afternoon sun, so it also means that dust is nice and warm now. Probably find the dust, if you had to touch it, is in excess of 40 degrees Celsius, so perfect dust bathing conditions for these birds. And this is the red-billed hornbill. This morning we saw a fantastic sighting of a yellow-billed hornbill, the ones with the slightly larger beaks, eating that caterpillar. And we haven't seen for quite a while is ground hornbills, the very big cousins to these guys. But then they are endangered, so it's not that common to see them. Seen for quite a while is ground hornbills, the very big cousins to these guys, but then they are endangered, so it's not that common to see them. The hornbills, rhino and a calf. So it doesn't seem too jumpy. Let's try and get closer. So white rhino. There we go. Let's try and find a gear. Easy way to know that it's a white rhino. If it's a black rhino in Sabi Sands, you'll see me jumping up and down for the next 5 minutes. We don't see them here very often. Also just looking at the bulk and the shape. This is definitely a white rhino, also known as a square-lipped rhino. Unfortunately, they seem to want to disappear from our view here. Just going into the thicker bushes. Just let the game drivers know quickly. They're all always keen to see rhino. All stations got Kombi and a half here at that pan on Nyala Road South at the Leadwoods. Stationary in the Slotty. Give them a couple of minutes, hopefully they settle down with us a little bit. So I don't recognize this female and youngster outright. We haven't seen them many times before. Just had a brief look at that calf, but it looks like probably about a 10-month-old calf or so, just under a year old. You can see those ears just turning and twisting, just listening, sort of checking out the environment of the ears. Just don't want to move for the moment. If we move now, she might just go further into that bush. I mentioned this often before, but just a reminder again of why we're just sitting here nice and tight, is that rhinos react hugely or largely to their hearing and to their smell. That's their two strongest senses. Eyesight's not that great. So whether they decide to run further into that thick bush or maybe move out into the open a little bit depends pretty much on how much noise and movement we make. So if we just sit nice and quiet, hopefully she decides, okay, we're not too much of a threat. Maybe she moves out a little bit, or at least into a bit of a gap. Definitely mother and calf. The calves tend to stay with the females. It varies a little bit. Anything up to, if it's a female calf, as long as 6-7 years. It's a male calf, typically about 3-4 years. Typically they actually stay until the next calf is born, so that's about 4 years on average, that sort of cycle of it. Long gestation as well, 16 months gestation period. There's a little one sticking its head out. Playing with a stick. Fortunately, we sort of disturbed them a little bit as we came around the corner. I think they were intent on having a bit of a mud wallow here. This pan that we're at, not the greatest for drinking, but it's nice and muddy. I think that maybe got themselves into the mud a little bit. You can see that youngster's looking nice and dark.